Alright, so on today's video, I just wanted to talk about what my training more or less looks like. Specifically, today I'm doing a deadlift, well, more like an intensity lower body day. So the way that I structure my training nowadays, that I have found works fairly well for me, at least better than what I have tried in the past. I have two upper body days and two lower body days. Um, As of right now, my two upper body days are just hypertrophy days. The reason is because I have decided to put the bench on the back burner. It's not like I don't care about making progress in it, I do, but at the same time, I know that the main thing that is preventing me from making progress is just that I basically lack the musculature. I need to develop stronger arms, stronger chest. But yeah, I basically have to work on developing the musculature around the area, so I just don't see a point in going like super heavy on it. Um, when I have like lagging body parts, so to speak. So as of right now, my upper body, I'm mostly focusing on like hypertrophy, just trying to develop my chest a little bit more, incorporate more dumbbell bench press, as well as just triceps. I've been making some pretty good progress on my close grip bench press and my tricep extensions. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm focusing on, and even biceps, which I usually skip quite a lot of, but I've been training them. It's just that I put them on leg days, as you will not see because I didn't record that because I don't care enough about biceps to record it. But yeah, I have been training biceps. It's just that I don't care enough about biceps, and I usually skip them. Like seriously, I will say biceps for me are like leg day for kino body. I do think that they are holding me back a little bit on the bench press, so I may as well start training them. Anyway, as far as my lower body is concerned, I don't think my musculature is as lagging in my lower body because I tend to put muscle a lot easier on my lower body, my legs, my hamstrings, my quads, my glutes. I just put muscle a lot easier there than I do in my upper body. And for my goals, I mean, I probably need a little bit more muscle, but like I don't have to go out of my way to like really focus on it. Basically, I just put it on really easy. So what I'm doing is that I have a more volume-esque focus day. Basically, what I do is I do like a 5-3-1 with a squat variation. I'm currently doing the box squat, but in about 2 weeks I'm gonna change it. Um, I do like 5-3-1 and then 5 by 10 on that, so that's a lot of volume. After that, I do RDLs, 3 sets of 10. I don't really change the volume or anything like that. I just change the variation a little bit. So I was doing like a straight weight, and currently I'm doing the banded RDLs. But and then I'm doing like Bulgarian split squats after that, and then after that I'm doing like some uh, belt squats, and usually before the belt squats I do some bicep curls, whatever. Okay, but what I wanted to show you guys today was my other session, my more quote intensity, if you want to call it that, lower body days. So on this day, what I do is basically uh, I sort of took it from conjugate from Westside Barbell just because I find that for me this is like the best way that I train my deadlift at. I've tried doing like 5 sets of 5 on deadlifts. I've tried doing like 3 sets on an AMRAP. I've tried doing that, but I honestly just can't. Like the recovery cost is too much for that. I'm not even that advanced, but honestly, I do feel like it gets in the way of my squats, even though it's just a couple of days after. And in theory, I should recover, but I don't. Like my back, I don't know how to explain it. I think it's partly because of my technique, where I do get a little bit of rounding on the back. So I think that that may play a role there, but in either case, yeah, I can only do deadlifts for like limited volume per week. Um, but I actually did find that the conjugate system did help me, at least in the sense of the exercise of rotations when it came to deadlift, was a decent way of me training it. Like I'm still seeing progress in the deadlift, which I stopped seeing in the squat and the bench when I train it that way, but I am seeing progress in the deadlift. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than just doing volume, that's for sure. So what I did in this session specifically is I work up to a heavy single on sumo deadlift pulled from a 1 inch block pull, from a 1 inch plate, basically like the plate is like 1 inch. Yeah, you'll see it there. Um, I pulled it like 1 inch. It's one of those things that is like you're gonna have to experiment with the variations that you wanna be using. I'm not using a whole lot of variations to be honest. As of right now, I'm keeping a variation it for around 3 weeks and then I switch it. So before this, I was using deficit deadlifts, uh, pull from 1 inch. So same thing. The first week you work up to a single. The second week you work up to another single, maybe two singles on the first week, whatever. I give myself up to 3 attempts, but I'm usually only taking like one or two. Because if I feel like I'm a little bit fatigued or like I may not get it, then I just wait and give it until next week. Basically, what this accomplishes is I actually can extend a little bit more of the neurological adaptations that you get from going that heavy. So, for example, my plan here is that on this week I went up to 185 kilograms. 185 didn't feel necessarily grindy, like I probably did have a little bit more in the tank. But on that session, I wanted to have more in the tank because I had already like warm up. I had already done 180 before that. I did 180, 185, and I feel like another one is like, who knows, right? So I figure next week when I'm fresh, I'm just gonna try 190. And then if I get 190 the week afterwards, once I'm fresh again, then I'm gonna try 190, 2.5. If 190 feels super well, maybe even 195, you know what I'm saying? I'm basically just going by feels, so instead of just having all of the max effort days in 1 week, I'm spreading it out across 3 weeks. That way I can get a little bit better practice on the movement, better neurological adaptations, and I can actually get like spread out the gain, so to speak, so that I am fresh for all of my attempts, which I find out it works really well. After that, I did some front squats. I was doing 5 to 1 with front squats, but here I did 120 kilograms for a set of 4. I wanted to see more or less what I was capable of, and I'm getting really close to 140 kilos. I want to hit that this year, but I think I'm gonna have to like put the front squat out of my exercise rotations, like on the back burner, at least for a little bit. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a little bit of overuse, so to speak. Like I'm starting to get a few nagging pains in that position. Nothing serious, just like I don't know how to explain it. It's like you feel that they're always working in a way that like you probably want to pay attention to it. So I'm gonna be changing the angle that I'm squatting from. I still don't have something that is squat dominant, but I want to change the variation such that I can give it like the joints in that angle like a little bit of a rest for like the next 3 weeks or so. So I think I'm just gonna try to like do the flat squat, with like on top of a plate with your heels up, like a really narrow stance and stuff. I'm gonna try to do that one for like the next 2 weeks, just testing the waters, getting used to it. And then after that, I'm gonna take a deload week where I'm not really gonna have that secondary squat movement. And then afterwards, I'm gonna reincorporate the squat in such a way that I actually end up that last little bit of grind towards the 140 kilogram front squat. I mean, if you plug my numbers now in a calculator, I think it estimates my 1 rep max to be like 135. I want to get 140, and I think that I may be ready if I give my body a little bit of rest. I may be able to pull that off, but or I guess squat that off, but we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, and after that, I did do some volume on front squats as well. In this case, I did 3x5, just because I find that that's beneficial for helping me with my bracing and stuff, like actually resetting the bar multiple times. And also, I think it's a great movement. Overall, I love them, as you said in my previous video. Now, after that, I will normally do some back extensions and then some bell squats. Here, honestly, I did not do the back extensions and I didn't really do the bell squats. The footage that you're seeing here is from like last session, but normally I do those. It's just that this time the gym was a little bit crowded, so it took me some time to finish my squats and my front squats after I finished my deadlifts. So I honestly felt like mentally I just wasn't there. Like I was tired. I just didn't want to continue anymore. And mostly I do those exercises. I mean, they do build strength, but I mostly do them. Well, mostly hypertrophy in the case of, and muscle endurance in the case of the bell squats, because as you will see, I actually have to do them with a lot of reps. Yeah, the stack only goes to 100 kilos, so I pretty much have to just rep that out for like 30 plus reps. It's mostly muscle endurance there, but whatever. The back extensions, I do think that they have great carryover to like the hip hinge muscles that take part in like after you start a deadlift, basically the posterior chain takes over. So I do think they have a lot of carryover there, and they're one of my favorite accessories for the deadlifts. But again, I was kind of lazy basically. I did do a little bit of like ab work, basically like a little bit of leg raises, just to get some blood flow to them, to the joints, to the spine, and everything, and that's about it. But as I say, normally I do those. I do like back extension and belt squats for high reps, like a finisher, and then before the belt squats, I usually hit my biceps. And you may be like, "What? It's a lower body day. I told you biceps was in the upper body." Yeah, I hate training biceps, and if I put them on my upper body, I'm gonna lift them towards the end, and I'm gonna miss them, and I'm gonna skip them. So, I mean, if I put them in my lower body, I don't really tend to skip them because I just don't care enough, and I do it. But I do tend to skip my biceps when I put them in my upper body day, because again, I just don't care enough. So I'm putting them in my lower body days to actually make sure that I hit them. And I know some of you are probably not going to be able to relate to this because you're like, wait, what? You don't like training biceps? But honestly, it's such a stupid body part. I honestly don't get it. It's like the neck. I mean, I get people want to train the neck to look joke and stuff, but I personally don't care less. I mean, I like to have big traps, but like a thick neck, guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, am I right? And yeah, that's basically what my plan is looking like. Now I will go over my other days of training in future videos if that is something that, you guys want to see or anyone wants to see. Or if I'm just thinking of more ideas for content, I guess. See you guys next time.